Oh, well, I don't want to do that. I ain't gonna go very far.
No.
What was the one that I hit 16 yards with the drive? Oh, jeez.
Man, that couldn't have been a better one to start.
I know,
awesome.
right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special episode of HHMtv. We're in between the two Golf Transformation Series seasons, and I'm here with Alec again. Alec, thank you so much for being with us.
No problem.
So today we're gonna do a special topic. This is on club fittings and just what they can do for your swing and your game. So, Alec, I went and got myself fitted.
Nice.
I have two 7-irons here, so for comparison, they told me I was up angled 2 degrees. What does that mean for somebody if they're going in there?
So 2 degrees upright just means your hands you have them a little bit higher at your initial stance. We call that P1, position 1. For me, I'm a degree flat, so I hold my hands a little bit lower with the toe up. You upright means the toe is more up and the heel is maybe up a little bit, so they fix that, bent the club a little bit, so now your club's laying nice and flat on the ground before you're going to hit.
So it's a nice flush hit every time.
Exactly.
Gotcha. And so I had the Senior Classics. These were hand-me-down
You didn't
clubs.
like the Senior Classics?
I didn't like the Senior Classics, crazy enough. They worked though.
They did.
Special shout out to my wife because they were hand-me-downs from her grandfather. Couple things that are different about these clubs. I mean, the length is also longer as well.
Yep.
So what's that gonna do to translate into my stance?
So length, just like we were talking off camera, you're a little bit taller, you have a little bit longer of a swing. It's also arm length, actually. It's not even just height. If you have, looks like you have longer arms, so that would be a reason too. That plays into it. And also, you talked about it as well, I want the viewers to know, grip size.
Yes.
These grips are a little bit, do you remember what size, mid-size I believe you got?
These were just standards. Those are oversized. They're the jumbo grips.
Yep. And you said that makes a big difference too, have a little bit bigger hands, easier to grip the club,
Yeah,
things
it really
like that.
does. It really does. And it gives it that, I feel like I'm holding a toothpick here.
There you go.
So this feels like an actual golf club, which is nice. So, and then also with the shafts, these were graphite shafts.
Most important part's the shaft of the whole golf club.
And these are steels, right?
Yep.
So
yes, absolutely.
Explain a little bit of the difference between a younger golfer hitting graphite versus steel shafts.
Yeah, so graphite, I would just say, is a little bit more forgiving.
So we're gonna hit the simulator here real quick, hit the range. I'm gonna show you the difference between the old,
The Senior Classics.
and the news. All right, so Alec, we've got our old 7-iron here.
We got the Senior Classic 7-iron.
Senior Classics, the carbon graphite shafts.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna take a few swings here.
Yep.
And we'll see what we come up with.
Little fade.
And that's because the hands are coming out?
That could be a couple
opening?
different things. Club face is open was the reason for that one.
Okay.
Or your hands could be late getting to the ball where your body's already turned and your arms are kind of lagging behind.
Okay.
So a couple different things there. That one, your club face was open a couple degrees. Yardage on that one was 119.
Okay.
Better swing there. And on this one too, I think it's important, like for people watching at home. Does that? I mean, that one should have felt like you hit that pretty solid.
Felt
correct?
pretty good. Felt pretty good.
And
but
it shows there 135 yards as opposed to 119.
Yeah. So now that one I could tell if I'm trying to hit it harder.
Yes, you tried to tug it. Look, now your club face, it closed it because you sped your arms up. It got past your body and closed it a little bit. 130 still, so that's consistently right now about, your average right now is 128.
Okay.
With the Senior Classic 7-iron.
Classics. And as a
And you're swinging what? You want to tell them out? You're not swinging out of your shoes.
Nope.
You know,
nope.
I think that's important to know too. We're not trying to rig this at all. Like,
just per the original, like one of the first lessons you gave me is to never try to swing 100%.
Never. I don't
That's
think
what
I
I've
ever.
been trying to do.
Never. 90%. Good swing there. That'll be one we definitely. Now see, you got a hold of that one.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't want to go too complex with the graphite shafts versus the steel shafts, but since you really hit that one good, if this makes sense, graphite shafts, especially that one with those kind of irons, can be a little bit more whippy.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like if you hold the club out, can you go like this and you can kind of see it move, right?
A little bit, yeah.
So what that means is as you get to the club, if you do get to a point, it could be whipping right as you're making contact, which kind of like slingshots it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So a couple times you could really get a hold of one where the whip is occurring right at impact, like that, which went 30 yards farther than your average at 157.
Gotcha.
So that's the difference. The consistency with the graphite shafts, if you swing way faster than someone that should have them, that's where that comes into play. Do you see how inconsistent the distances are with this club? It's gone all the way from your low is 119 and your high is 163.
Right.
I mean, theoretically, that's a 4 difference in clubs.
4 club difference?
4 club difference, correct.
All right, so we got averages right now about 136, high being 163. Launch angles, where do we want to be at about?
So you've got a 7-iron, correct? Launch angle, it might be a little high on that, honestly. That backspin is important. You normally take the club you have, which is a 7, and you times it by 1,000.
Okay.
So you should theoretically be at 7,000.
Okay.
You're right around 7,500, so that's pretty dang good, honestly.
Okay.
As far as your backspin there.
Going from the senior classics to the D9s. Brand new, fitted, new grips, all that stuff.
Now, biggest thing I tell people, don't try to overswing because it's different, all that, just swing. Unbelievable. All right, we're done, guys.
Yeah, that's more one taking it now today, guys. Thanks a lot.
As you can see, that was totally on the first take. Unbelievable.
So
look at that. That whip factor's gone out. You're only 2 degrees open, which is nothing. 178 yards of distance.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And see there, your launch was a little bit too high. As you can see, that went down to 17. Brings your backspin way better spot at 6,600. Almost dead on that 7,000 that we're looking for.
And that was a smooth stroke. I didn't even try to put anything into it.
No. And
that was just me
That's why I
hitting it.
said that before you hit. I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't want that to play a factor at all. Another good swing.
But it just feels better in my hand, too.
I'm sure it
like
does.
It's not
I mean,
so
look
hard
at
to
those.
swing it.
It's just flying. I mean, that's incredible. On the chart, when we go back to that, your ball speed on the old senior classics was at 100.
Yeah.
Your ball speed with these is 120. So it's up 20 miles an hour. So this one for me, now swing this one smooth.
Smooth, okay.
And let's just see like, hey, you know, let's say it's a little downwind on a hole and you don't need to get all of it. Hit about an 80, 85% 7-iron.
Okay.
Look at that. See how the launch isn't as high?
Yep.
Which means the spin isn't gonna be as much.
And I turned into that one where it usually would peel way off to the left.
See how
and
the
it still
spin
stayed.
isn't as much because you
Yep.
dialed it down at 5,900 and it still went 165. You wanna know that carry number.
Yes.
Because let's say we're playing a hole, you're approaching the green, it's 170 yards, but it's dead downwind.
Yeah.
Are you gonna hit a 7 light like you just did? Are you gonna try to hit an 8 stronger? Most people would say take the 7 and swing light just like you did.
Okay.
Before we even started talking, we talked about the dispersion.
Yes.
So when you guys look up at this screen.
And that was my low hit now.
Exactly.
And I felt that too.
When the viewers at home see this screen of your dispersion chart compared to the old non-fitted club, that is the difference you're looking for, because you would circle those, see how far apart the farthest one is and the closest 2 are. I mean, we can just tell from that chart, it's the closest 2 are within yards of each other.
Yeah.
At the top middle. And then even your farthest ones, when you're swinging lighter, you know, your low's 150, your high's 180, but you were swinging 2 different speeds there on purpose.
Yeah.
And it's still not terrible.
So
that doesn't tell you to get fitted. I don't know what.
I know, right? Like, here we are. Here's your proof. All right, so Alec, the numbers spoke for themselves. Dispersion spoke for itself. Now, the one thing that I think is the most important factor to know right now, other than what I've just done here today and the difference between our clubs, is that anybody can come in here and do the exact same thing with theirs.
100%. If you just got fitted or you've been playing, especially in the winter when we're busy, and you want to just see your numbers or see where your game's at, what we just did in the 30 minutes, anyone is welcome to. Don't need a membership, don't need anything like that. Come in here. We were just on the driving range setting on our simulators. You can see your numbers. I mean, you can see the entire shot statistics that we just went over. It's pretty cool to see those numbers, and they do translate outside. I promise you, they're pretty dang accurate. So, well, you tell me. I mean, you can see the difference between.
I can see a huge difference. Just knowing as well the yardages for each club is going to be such a huge improvement for me. Huge help with the simulator here, guys, with all the metrics and all the numbers you can get if you're a serious golfer. If you're not, and if you're just trying to get into the game and get familiar with it, this is still a huge help too.
Absolutely.
Because you can see where your shots are going. You can see what your clubs are going to do. You're going to have a professional here to be able to help you out if you need some lessons. So, Alec, once again, thank you so much for being a part of this journey with us. And we're going to be kicking off season 2 here pretty soon, so stay tuned. We're going to get down with some of the
Are we taking this outside?
We're getting close to it, man. We're getting close. So we're going to have a couple special guests along the way. So make sure you stay tuned. And as always, as any other project that we do, and any other series that we do, we're going to have an incredible giveaway. So make sure you stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be the perfect thing to get you from a chump to a champ. So once again, from HHMtv, for Alec at the Golf House, this is Chris saying, go find the great things in your community, and we will see you next time.